So the colour red signifies fire and blood, war, danger, strength, desire and also power, among other things. But in Warframe, it generally means that you've built something that is getting a lot of shit done, or else just something that looks really, really edgy. Now, welcome on in, you beautiful feckers. How you all doing? So this is my Eternal War Valkyr, dishing out an insane amount of damage with her Gram Prime, a weapon that a lot of you might argue is one of the strongest weapons in Warframe right now, along with maybe the Redeemer Prime or the Infested Zaws or whatever other melee weapon you personally have an affinity for. Maybe there is no best weapon in your eyes, which is fine, or it generally doesn't feckin' matter to you. Fun first, right? And what better way to have fun than, I guess, using Vauban, or I mean using Valkyr. What's a Vauban? Valkyr is a Warframe that I know some of you think needs maybe a little bit of love, a little bit of a rework, but we'll talk about that some other day. And the idea for this video is that I have remodded my Valkyr. I've stuck on some Umbral mods, I've popped in adaptation because it's awesome, as well to allow me to go nuts with her Warcry ability. Now, it is the only Valkyr setup that I enjoy running, a Warcry Valkyr, a melee specialist, where you pop her ultimate only as a panic moment while going ham with a very powerful melee weapon like the Paracesis or my cleavers, the Ikers, or like I said, the Gram Prime, which is undeniably powerful. High crit chance, high status chance, high slash damage. It makes for, I guess, the perfect hybrid setup. Very, very powerful. Cleaving Whirlwind's Broken Bull combo in particular is what I like about using heavy blades, or the real spin to win, dealing an extra 300% damage with each spin, and those red crits are, of course, are really nice to look at as well. Not to mention the damage numbers, because Condition Overload is equipped at the same time, on top of it having a maximum Riven disposition, which gives you absolute bombs of Rivens for the Gram, or the Gram Prime. So just a very quick heads up, footage with my Valkyr coloured blue in this video has got a crit chance, crit damage Riven on her Gram, but footage of her coloured red in the Simulacrum is without that Riven equipped. It's a normal build and it is still capable of hitting red crits very, very quickly, while also dealing a lot of damage and killing enemies really quickly. So the Riven isn't exactly needed, and right now they cost a fucking fortune unless you're lucky enough to get one rolled. Now, the concept behind this complete setup, all of this synergy between weapons and Warframe, is carried over from my Wukong red crit stick setup that I made a video on a few days ago, but of course without the Wukong and without his big shtick. Now, it's definitely a bit on the overkill side when it comes to the crit mods attached to everything in this setup, kind of just for the fun of it. Blood Rush is equipped, Arcane Avenger is equipped, and of course the Gladiator mod set is using the most out of the set piece bonus, which works in a similar way to Blood Rush as well, by increasing your crit chance along with that combo counter. So you want to have a few of those mods equipped on either your Warframe or on the Deconstructor melee weapon for your Helios or Helios Prime. So I've got 3 of those Gladiator mods on my Deconstructor and 1 of the Gladiator mods on my Valkyr. Now, these are my builds for everything involved in this setup, from my Valkyr, which is modded for, of course, tankiness to survive, and that Eternal War augment, which increases your Warcry's duration every time you get a kill while under the influence of it. Warcry also increases your attack speed, your armor values, and of course it slows enemies caught inside the radius of that scream. Now, my Gram Prime, like I said, has 2 separate builds, which I showed off in this video, one with a Riven equipped and one without. Both builds mince through enemies really quickly, but the Riven, of course, will outperform the non-Riven setup because, of course, it's given extra crit chance and damage. That is, I guess, until maybe Riven changes begin to roll out on melee weapons whenever 3.0 actually hits. Now, Valkyr isn't necessarily needed for this build. You could carry over these Gladiator mods onto any of your favourite Warframes and pop a melee on them, but I wanted to make the most out of that Eternal War augment and, of course, the attack speed from her Warcry. Now, my Deconstructor build is still the same as it was in the Wukong video. This is used as just a shell. It won't be attacking enemies, it won't be dealing any damage, it's just there to boost your crit chance for your melee weapon. Now, I know a lot of you love Tempo Royale and won't really use another stance mod on heavy blades, which is fine. It's your game, you're going to play it exactly how you want to and not how other people tell you to, but I personally prefer Cleaving Whirlwind. I love the Broken Bull combo, but I also love the gap closing that I can get with that Sundered Tusk combo as well, which is the triple overhead slam, followed by that leap and then the slam to finish it off, which of course ragdolls enemies and slams them up into the air if they get caught in that final bit of the combo. Now Broken Bull is also really easy to engage. 2 quick swings of your sword, then a slight pause, followed by spamming your melee. This will make you spin up to 6 times, and of course if you try to spin more than that, you're going to end the combo with a stagger or you're going to get dizzy. But honestly, with Warcry active with Valkyr, you don't really notice the stagger because it's kind of sped up, and you can quickly pop right back into that Broken Bull combo. And since you're dealing red crits almost instantly, I think inside about 10 hits I was getting red crits in the hundreds of thousands of damage, nothing really survives that Broken Bull kind of strikes. And with my current power strength on my Valkyr, my Warcry also gives me an 85% armor buff, which you can keep active simply because of that Eternal War augment, adding to the duration of the buff every time you get a kill. Now this whole setup is a lot of fun, but like I said, it is overkill in terms of crit mods, and of course you're using Helios, which can get killed unless you're very careful. Make sure and take off its attack preset so that it doesn't actually get aggro from enemies. Watch for bombards, nuke them first. The same goes for napalms or grenades. Anything that might accidentally, I guess, hit you, deal fuck all damage to you, but the splash damage will wipe out your Helios. Now, the whole setup is just for fun. Nothing more, nothing less. The Riven, like I said, isn't needed, but hopefully the footage speaks for itself. Build however the hell you want. The non-Riven setup is capable of hitting red crits almost instantly as well because of the excessive amount of crit mods we've got equipped. And because the Grand Prime also has a very high status chance, you're also going to have condition overload, which is adding to the whole, I guess, overkill element of this whole setup. It is just really nice. Now, I know someone's probably already said it in the comment section. What do you need this amount of power for in Warframe? There is nothing really in game that's going to need this kind of damage for you to get through it. Most people nowadays just do, I guess, 1 hour, maybe 2 hour survivals, and then it's all about just doing sorties and doing dailies. It's not like it used to be years ago with the old Tower 4 keys and things like that. And in a way, you're right, but at the same time, just because you don't enjoy doing loads of endless missions doesn't mean that someone else doesn't. So what's fun for them might not be for you, and vice versa. Maybe like standing on the steps of La Ronda or in front of the Fortuna doors looking fabulous. Maybe that's your thing. Don't knock it, I guess. Now, it is worth noting that I have tried this setup on multiple different weapons. I tried it on the Paracesis because the Paracesis also has a really high crit chance. However, it doesn't have the best of status chances, so it falls really short compared to the Grand Prime, simply because the Grand Prime also has that high status chance, and you have condition overload on it as well. Now, I guess if you had a Riven for your Paracesis that allowed you to increase your status chance and make the most out of condition overload, well then it might be, I guess, on par with the Grand Prime. But as it stands right now, with this exact build that I've used, comparing my Paracesis to my Grand Prime, it doesn't even come close. And because I've got that Riven, it also allows me to put primed reach on, which of course allows me to hit a lot more enemies in a radius around me. But if you like this type of setup, or this kind of, I guess, fun messing about with different Warframes and weapons and the synergy between them, then feel free to share whatever your favourite is in the comment section below. But let me know in the comment section below what you think of this whole setup. Like I said, Valkyr isn't necessarily needed. You could bring Volt, you could use Harrow, you could use any goddamn frame that you wanted, as long as you had the Gladiator mods on your Helios, on the Deconstructor, while also maybe having one of them on your Warframe, and you bring a weapon that has either Blood Rush on it, or you can have Arcane Avenger as well. So again, Valkyr for me was just for the added bonus of the Warcry, and for shits and giggles, and to see how fast I could absolutely blitz through enemies. Do me a huge favour, hit that like button if you enjoyed the video, or don't if you didn't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.